Hi, G-Rod. Welcome back to MovieJunk. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for having me back again. Truly, it's a
Thank you.
pleasure
Thank
to
you
be
for
here.
coming back. I know for me at least, it doesn't matter, what I'm watching. It feels like you're just on every single show or movie that I watch. I mean, you just Stranger Things, Ozark, Better Call Saul. Fans of Cobra Kai know you as Juan. I mean, you gave Johnny Lawrence a beat down in season three. I mean, what's your secret to staying so busy?
Man, what is my secret to staying so busy? I'm a hustler. If I'm not grinding, I'm doing myself a disservice. I mean, look, obviously, I don't have to I'll call it cold call as much, as I had to before. Because now I have a few agents that do that for me, and where before I just didn't have the body of work that I have now. It's really been different, and different in a good way, right? But I still hustle, man. I still grind nonstop. I see every single opportunity as the as a career changer. Could this be, is this something that can really have a positive contribution to my career? And I'm very meticulous. Everything that crosses my path, I'm weighing it. I'm weighing it. What are the pros and cons? I'm not disregarding. I know that some people, when they get to a certain level, they're like, oh no, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. No, I'm weighing everything. I'm putting everything on the scale. I come from very, very humble beginnings. So for me to be able to say, I live, I'm living this. I'm on TV and stuff like that. I don't take that shit for granted at all, man, at all. So that's the secret. Just keep grinding,
And I
undoubtedly.
And I remember from our first interview, I mean, we were just talking about it, man. It's already been over a year ago. It just feels like
Mm.
yesterday. I remember that you had mentioned because you play a lot of these like tough guy roles, right? You're either the one doing the hunting, or you're the one that gets taken out, or the bully in some case. But you had mentioned that, and maybe I shouldn't bring it up, but you had mentioned that you were the bully growing up, right? Was that
It was
correct?
actually the opposite. I
I'm
was
sorry, I'm sorry.
bullied.
You were the one being bullied. I'm sorry.
I was bullied to the highest degree. And looking back, I am thankful. And look, it's still kind of traumatizing as I think about it, but I was bullied to the point where it really it affected me on an emotional level. It affected me, my self-esteem. It really dug into me because um you're young. This is, teen years. These are your pivotal. This is where you're building your foundation, whether it's solid or not. This is your defining years, right? um and what defined me was the bullying. Constant. I couldn't go to school on my birthday because I get beat the hell up. I'd get thrown into the locker. I got moved from three different schools. I was called Dumbo because of my ears. It's funny because my head had to grow to accommodate my ears, you know. But when I was younger, my head was small, my ears were big, so they'd call me Dumbo. Um, and not that there's anything wrong with this, but they would tease me and say, "Gay, gay, Gabriel, gay, gay, Gabriel," because my name is Gabriel Rodriguez. But it's America, so
Hmm, hmm.
they turn it to Gabriel, and then Gabriel would turn to Gabriel, and gay, 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 Gabriel. And I can't tell you how many times I remember vividly, like probably over, I don't know, more than 20 times. I would eat lunch with the principal in the principal's office because I would get jumped so badly and beaten. I was able to turn all that negativity into a positive, and now I'm enjoying and reaping, you know, the fruits of my labor, because I've turned this into a career. And even further into my 20s, it was still affecting me to the point, because I started, it wasn't this mug here that, you know, that is you know, your killer, your hitman. I don't remember the last time I got hired for anything that's a criminal, a bad guy. This mug right here, I didn't get this until my late 20s, until my early 30s. Then I started getting bullied in a different way. I'd walk into Starbucks, and people would be like, their hands on the red button, like, what's going down? Is this guy gonna jack us? Getting pulled over by police, and then them calling for backup just because of my physical appearance. I used to, I'm not sure if I told you this, but I used to shave my eyebrows because, you know, as I'm looking at you right here, right now, you know, look at your eyebrows. Look, you seem right now like a happy camper. We're having a great conversation. I don't need to do much to look angry, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, if I'm confused, watch this. I'm confused right now. I say, what'd you say? Look, I look angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm curious, watch this. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? You know, talk. I'm angry, and if I'm angry, it's even, you know.
Yeah.
So I would start shaving my eyebrows, go, you know, so that they look like yours, you know, thick but straight. You kind of have a little bit of that, but you have a very soft smile. So it, I got off on a tangent, but it was very traumatizing. I went from getting bullied because I look soft. And then in my adult years, I went to being bullied because I looked hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I remember because you had mentioned that, like, you know, you were essentially the Daniel growing up, right? Like, you
Yeah.
were quite a kid. And that's where it was kind of more of a personal, it was this role when you took on, you know, in Cobra Kai season 3, it was more of a personal role for you, right? It was different from some of the other roles that you'd taken.
Yeah, it was I think I mentioned, I was like, I don't remember getting the text. It all started with a text message, you know? It's like, hey, are you you know, a lot of people don't know this, but I I got booked on Cobra Kai from the stunt side. Hiro Koda and Janelle Kerfman, who were the stunt coordinators at the time, who by the way, shout out to Hiro Koda and Janelle, because he just won an Emmy, I think last night,
Yep. Yep.
right? For his amazing work on Stranger Things,
Yep.
for stunt coordination.
Yep.
So shout out to them. So it started with a text message from his team, you know, because there's certain scenes that just make it easier to have a stunt actor, you know, somebody who is a stunt performer and has been doing it for, you know, who's a professional stunt performer that has acting chops. So I remember getting the text and saying, Cobra Kai, are you available for you know, so and so dates? I was like, yeah. Okay, we're gonna submit you to casting for a show for Cobra Kai. I was like, Cobra Kai. And I'm like scratching my head, like, what? Isn't that like Karate Kid? You know,
Yeah.
this is when, as you know, this is when it was already on YouTube. But
On YouTube.
there's, I mean, come on. I mean, it didn't have, you know, half or a quarter of the following that it had until, you know, until it got into Netflix.
Yeah.
So I started thinking, Cobra Kai, that sounds so familiar. So obviously I did my homework. So I submitted this thing, and yeah, it was amazing. It was, you know, I look, people tell me now, looking back, because now it's been, you know, it's been a couple years
Shot.
since it was shot, and it's been well over a year since it aired.
Yeah.
There's been, and I can tell people honestly, there's been two very pivotal points in my career. And the first one was my work on Power, which is on Starz.
Yep.
Um, and then, you know, so, you know, kind of like a stock ticker, it went ding ding. and then my work on Cobra Kai. You know,
Yeah.
when you have casting directors that are specifically hitting you up and then saying, "Hey, our producer wants you to read for it," and I was like, "What? Wait, what? Yeah, they saw your work on Cobra Kai."
Wow.
That is like that. I'm like, what? That is, you know, not that I'm not underplaying the show, but it's still amazing, and obviously it carries a very high level of satisfaction because that's somebody giving you a nod, right? That's somebody saying, "Attaboy," you know. That's somebody saying, "Hey, even if you know, even if I don't book the work, right? They're still giving you an opportunity based on the work that you did on that particular show."
Yeah.
So I can honestly say it's been a pivotal it's been a pivotal part of my career.
Yeah, and definitely too. I mean, it's the Cobra Kai Karate Kid universe. It's kind of become like sort of like the Star Wars universe, right? Like it doesn't matter how big or how small a character is. Like when you're part of the fandom, there's like
Yeah,
backstories created on you and fan art. And
yeah,
that and you know the Juan and Hector, you know, scene, right? That was the first fight scene of season 3, right? And kick off you know, the fight scene with Johnny Lawrence. And you know, again, like is it different? Like obviously being a part of the fandom and you know, being part, you know, a character in the show, but also being a fan, like is it kind of like surreal when you or is it just when you get on set, it's just business as usual? Like how is it from the fan perspective? I've always wondered that.
oh, look, I have a bit of I'll call it a switch. When I go into character, it's like I'm that guy. I don't go, look, I don't dive as deep as, I'm not sending a effing pig to somebody's trailer. You know, I'm not doing it. I'm not pulling a Jared Leto. You know, I'm not sure if that's what was reported. I'm not talking smack, but that's what was reported.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it, but I am fully dialed in. I'm wearing that character. Incidentally, though, with Juan, it came so easy because here is the epitome of the person that you know that I put everything into that. You know, the Johnny Lawrence was the guy that was bullying me all those years, and I was, as I told you, I was the Ralph Macho, I was the Danielson. Um, and I put everything into that. You know, God, look, with the acting stuff, the way that I see it is, I and I tell people that roll up on me all the time. People still roll up on me for Cobra Kai. It's amazing. This 12-year-old kid was like screaming in the grocery store the other day, which I thought was the coolest thing because he's excited. I'm excited. You know, he's you know. I was like, oh my God, he's so excited. And the mom's like, yeah, yeah, he's a big fan of Cobra Kai. Um, but what the way I look at it is like I have an arsenal of emotions that I'm able to dig in, you know, depending on the role that I'm doing. And if I can't dig into that chest, open that chest up and look in my arsenal of emotions and find uh, um, something that I can wear and utilize from my personal experiences in life to attach to this character, I won't do it. And I've had you know, opportunities that have crossed my path, and my agents will be like, "What?" You know. So this was a double whammy for me, right? Because I was such a fan of Karate Kid, the Karate Kid universe, because it was part of our childhood, right?
Yeah.
Um, but not only that, it was so ingrained in me because of my experience growing up. I used it as therapy. I used it as a tool. That's why I got into karate. You know,
Yeah.
That's why I got into Goju-Ryu. So it was just a mixture of stuff. You know, when honestly, the fan in me came out when they yelled cut, and I knew I was done. It was Juan, up until the point where they yelled cut and they started, clapping, and everybody has their moment, right? That, hey, it's a picture wrap, or series, it's a wrap for G-Rod, and that's when you have that moment, and you're like, I went up to William Zabka and I said, hey, thank you, and the big three, those guys. I said, thank you for having me. Honestly, I know that you guys get this a lot, but bringing this to life and resurfacing this with the way that you guys have is just amazing. And to be invited, I told them, to be invited is an honor, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't tell William Zabka that he embodied everything that I
I was going to ask,
experienced.
did you tell him?
I
Did you tell him that, or?
No, I didn't tell him. But he was such a good dude, man. He's like, he's uh, um look, everything, the reason why they had me in there, because it carries certain risk, right? Because any physical stuff, these action sequences, anything can go wrong. I mean, I was just working on a film, and I smashed my finger and I couldn't move it. Now it started moving. I thought I had broken it. It was a fight sequence. So, anything a number of different things can go wrong. I'm getting pulled out of the car after they smashed the window. Granted, it is sugar glass, which can still cut.
Yeah.
His double actually cut his hand up a bit, quite nicely. So, all through it all, he was such a good sport, and I didn't want to take it in that direction. Say, hey, by the way, you embody every single bully that crossed paths with me when I was a teenager. God damn you,
I
um,
I got to finally, because I attended the Cobra Kai event at Paley Fest. It was about a month ago in Hollywood, so I got to see pretty much everyone. I mean, it was
oh,
Ralph,
that's awesome.
Apka. I think the only person that wasn't there was Martin Cove, but everyone was there. So I was literally like where my seat was like 5 feet away from the cast, and it was just surreal. Like it was, just there's been very few times where like I've been able to just see my childhood right in front of me, and like that was one of those moments. I just felt like a kid, because I'm a
Yeah,
huge Machio fan, aside from the Karate Kid. But my cousin Vinny is like one of my favorite movies of all time. So
amazing.
like
Yeah,
I'm right next to Vinny there, right? And yeah, it's seeing these guys in person. I mean, like there's such a nice, just you feel like they're just someone that are just so personable, and
yeah,
I can see it was just. I'm sure even working with them was unbelievable.
yeah. And look, in the reality of it, here's a secret. Here's a secret. They're not all that way, and you never know what you're getting, right? You gotta, we're there to make the stars look good,
Yeah.
and have them. Well, incidentally, that was one of the few times that Cobra Kai, where I walked away looking like the badass, right? I'm stomping his face.
Yeah, that doesn't always happen. Yeah,
That
you ended up walking out of there with the
and I
victory.
still, yeah, I walked away with the victory. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen very often, right?
Just you and Terry Silver, I think. That
Yeah, I mean, wait, Terry Silver beat him?
well, remember when Johnny came into the dojo and Terry Silver, I think he was kind of drunk too in the scene, so Terry
Yeah,
Silver kinda took advantage of him a little
you're
bit.
right. You're right. Yeah. So, yeah, but I think, I kicked him in the face, and it was just, um, but the point is that for the most part, we're there, to make them look good, right? They're bringing in stunt professionals like myself, because they want to throw down. They want to throw down, and they want it to look gnarly, right?
Yeah.
Um, but you just never know who you're, what kind, yeah, I've been in situations where, damn it, I have to spend 12 hours today with this effing guy, no, a celebrity, and they're just every little thing, every single thing, they're looking to make it complicated. It's a fight sequence. Yeah, yeah, no, and I'm talking to them with respect and everything. Yeah, but so what we're gonna do is that what was that beat?
It's probably on my side.
Oh, hey, we're gonna work through this fight sequence, and I'm gonna come here, and I'm gonna execute this punch and stuff. I don't like that. This and that. You're whatever, and they're tweaking stuff. Look, I can tell you from experience, some of the nicest people you'll see on TV or in interviews, and they're just complicated people, and it's such a joy to work with somebody like William Zabka, who's like doing whatever he can. He was like a team player. He's one of the stars of the damn show.
Yeah.
So he was one of the team players. Yeah, yeah. And he came up to me once and he's like, "You need anything else from me? You need me to?" I was like, "No, man, you're doing great." He's like, "You know what I'm saying? You don't get that kind of that humility from you do. I'm just saying, but there's times when you don't. So that's one of the look, that's one of those experiences that I can log in and say, man, this was a great experience all around. Because there's situations where you'll be, on set with directors that are considered in Hollywood as they got star power,
Yeah.
and then they come with the Hollywood attitude, and it's just like, oh my god, so it is what it is. But yeah, he was one of those that was very, very pleasant, very professional, and it was all around positive experience.
Yeah. And I know now, I mean, we're, only 3 days away, I think 2 days away now from season 5
Oh yeah, you're right.
up. Well, maybe we can just quickly jump back into kind of how season 4 wrapped with Kreese kind of going to jail, and kind of Terry Silver now opening up additional dojos. We just heard that Sean Kanan's coming back, Mike Barnes. So really excited about that too. Any predictions for what we're gonna see in season 5?
Yeah, yeah. I do know that they go to Puerto Rico, right? They go to Puerto Rico, and I don't think that that's going to play too much into it, too far into it. I think it's just like a diversion, and that he gets to meet his dad, and then that comes back. Um, I I I I did get a chance to work with the person that that will be his father, earlier this year. Very, very talented actor. Um, so that's all I know about that. um, but I think that that's going to be kind of like a quick diversion, and just bring it back to the state, to the mainland. And I think that this expansion from the Cobra Kai, Terry Silver standpoint, I think is going to really be a very big focal point.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, look, they know what they're doing, but I feel like, maybe you disagree or maybe you agree, is I feel like they're pulling too far away from the logo, the original look of the traditional Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
They have these amazing dojos now, from what I can tell, and they got the big LED screens and whatever, and let's call it flashy. Let's
Yeah.
call it flashy. I think it's the old school, the old school me, and maybe you, that likes preserving to some degree, the
Integrity.
authenticity,
Yeah.
in the integrity of the original, Karate Kid universe. I want to see, if they're expanding, I'd like to see where the additional dojos are like the one. You remember when Miyagi walked in with Daniel, and
Just dojo.
confronting Kreese. I want to see that. I want to see that sort of look. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Better Call Saul, for example, Breaking Bad. if you're watching Better Call Saul, you're gonna get the Breaking Bad vibes. Am I wrong? Am I right?
I agree. Yep.
You're gonna get that because what they're doing cinematically, they wanted to carry that over. Some of the shots, some of the attire, some of the cars, they wanted to carry that over. I just feel like, do you get what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, it's well, you know what it is too. It's with Cobra Kai, it touches such a wide range of audience. Like, and I saw this at Paley Fest. There's a huge fandom of Cobra Kai, and a lot of it is, younger, like teens. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
there's the kind of like the older fans from like the original trilogy and the next Karate Kid. So it just depends. I feel like now we're kind of, at least for this season, maybe it might be positioned more for a different demographic.
Yeah,
But
good
when I
point.
do watch the season, it when I do watch Cobra Kai, like I feel like the creators do try to give us all sort of what we want, right? Like sort of like I like seeing the stuff from the past, like Chosen coming back. I love that in season 4. When they went to Okinawa, that was like my favorite part of
Yeah,
the show. I was getting Bloodsport vibes when I saw that part.
yeah.
I'm really curious to see what the addition of Mike Barnes is going to do, because I know he's been announced, but I don't think I've seen him in any of the trailers. So, and I've interviewed Sean Kanan 3 times, I believe, 3 or maybe 4 times.
Wow,
And,
wow. Yeah,
and
but how do you feel about Chosen? Honestly, how do you feel about Chosen in the States?
in the
You see,
States, yeah. So
because
I'm curious to see, it's unique, right? Because like this is the first time that we're seeing him come over. Is he going to sort of be like the Miyagi now for Daniel? Because right now I feel like he has more skills than Daniel, and I don't know. I mean, I hope we can get a fight between Daniel and Terry Silver, but I feel like Chosen's going to be the most powerful one out of all of them.
mm-hmm.
I'd love to see a fight between Chosen and Terry Silver. Um, and the big showdown now that folks want to see is Mike Barnes against Johnny Lawrence. Like who would
Abs
those two?
absolutely. I yeah, I do believe um that's gonna happen in season 5. I
Mhm.
really do, which would be amazing, I think. I was a big fan of 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 his character, Sean Keenan. Keenan, is it?
Kanan, yeah, he played Mike Barnes,
Yeah,
and
Mike Barnes. I was a big fan of that. There's a there's that moment where he's taunting him. Um, when he goes into what was it? What was it? Bonsai sort of shack. It
the
looked like a
shot right
shack.
with Dennis.
Yeah,
Dennis is with
he
Dennis.
he did, a
He had a
fantastic
girl too
job.
in that scene. He had a girl in that scene.
Yeah. That was, to me, the way he executed that. And it's funny because I saw it recently, maybe like 2 years ago. And you ever see some of these older movies and you're like, it's not holding the test of time. It's not. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You've had that experience, right?
Yeah,
I
I'm drawing a blank on the name of the movie, but there was a movie I just recently rewatched that I know I loved, and then I watched it again. I was like, this wasn't that good. Uh,
Yeah,
and with the Karate Kid 3, I actually and again, if you rank them, I mean, for me, my favorite one is the original, and
a
then
hundred percent.
part 2 is like right there, like if not
Yeah,
just good. But then 3 and 4, because I actually really like the next Karate Kid too, because as a kid, I grew up watching the Disney Channel and it was on so much. I
yeah.
probably saw the next Karate Kid more than Karate Kid Part 3. But fun fact, my first ever interview with MovieJunk was with Sean Kanan. That was my
Oh,
very
that's
first interview.
cool.
And then my very second interview was with Michael Cavalieri, who plays Ned Randall. He was the villain in the next Karate Kid.
Ned Randall. Oh, is that the
He's the bad guy in the
I
next
didn't watch that
Karate
because
Flank.
that's a new Karate Kid. That's a new.
That one was 94. It came out. It still had Miyagi. It still had Miyagi.
Yeah, it just didn't have that. It didn't
Daniel
have.
wasn't in it.
I wonder why he wasn't. Was he not invited?
So he was. So I, for my, and this is just me reading up on this stuff. I feel like he didn't necessarily want to do the third one, or but when he did do it, it wasn't quite what he was expecting it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he just didn't want to drag on the character anymore. He kind of wanted to solidify like what they had, with the first two movies in the trilogy. But he was asked, but I think he had originally turned it down.
Isn't
And
that
that's
interesting? And now it's become like, it's resurfaced as Cobra Kai, and thinking back, I mean, who knows what he thinks, but I would probably look back and say, oh man, I should have done it. Look, shoulda, coulda, woulda. You can't change the past, but it's interesting looking back. He's probably, wondering whether that was the right call or not. But that going back to that scene, I saw it, and I still enjoyed it. That scene where he's taunting him, and I loved it. I loved it. It held up nicely, and I liked his energy. And he looks like a nice guy. I think I saw you posted a clip of your interview with him, and he
yeah.
looks like such a nice guy. You know,
So fun fact too. The so he was actually the second choice of the character.
really.
There's another character. Actually, I posted a clip on this. There was another guy named Daryl, who was originally brought on. I think even shot a few scenes. But then I guess the director was feeling that he wasn't living up to the part. William C. Ford, who plays Dennis, was saying that he just didn't have the charisma. And Sean Kanan, I don't know if you ever noticed this, but when I watched him, I kind of got Drago vibes. Remember from Rocky Four?
Yeah, of course.
Drago.
I just got done working with him. Um,
Sean
like
Kanan or Dolph Lundgren?
Dolph,
That's
like three
awesome.
months ago.
Oh man,
Um, I
legend.
and he and I worked together. Let me see. I can't, but you'll see.
I was
It's
just gonna
interesting.
ask. I was like, yeah, I wanted to know. Is it? But we'll get when we can't talk about it. We'll bring it back and we'll talk about it.
It's called Wanted Man.
Mhm,
You can look it up, and he plays a cop.
mhm.
Um, and I yeah, that's there's action involved. So yeah, I do see how that can be, that can bring that kind of, Drago vibes, you know um which obviously, Rocky is another, and then I think that Rocky 3.
Rocky Four. Three was with Mr.
What?
T. Yeah, that was Rocky
It
Four.
was Rocky 4. You're right.
It was to
Yeah.
Russia.
And yeah, man, that was so amazing, man. Do you remember the trainings, the training, what do you call it, montage,
Hearts
right?
on Fire.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, yeah. I do get those kind of vibes from him though. He's a lot older now,
Yeah.
Dolph is, you know, time, it's he's older. He's older.
Mhm. What was your take on the Creed movies? Maybe Creed 2. Did you see it where it was Dolph and Dolph's son?
Um, it's interesting because I got a call about Creed 2, and I was already booked. Uh, um, Look, I'm sorry. Wait, Creed 3 is the one that doesn't have Sylvester Stallone in it, right? That's the one that's
Yes.
coming out.
Yes.
So, um, sorry. Your question was about Creed 2, you said?
Oh yeah, well I was gonna ask if what were your thoughts on Creed 2 because Dolph was there with it was the
Yeah,
story with Dolph's son.
I thought that was. Did it give you like Cobra Kai vibes? The whole the moment where they meet in the restaurant for the
Oh
first
yeah.
time. That was awesome. That was just awesome. That
Yeah.
brought me back. And
Is that you? Is that you over there? Is
yeah, there, yeah, yeah, yeah.
that
No,
you?
that's awesome, man. Um, Yeah, that was yeah, that brought me back, man. That brought me back. You know what other scene is great, which has nothing to do with Dolph Drago, is the you ever heard the emotional speech with Sylvester Rocky outside and he's talking to his son?
Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, oh, is that what it's called, Rocky Balboa?
Yeah,
And
that
he's
was
telling him, you gotta keep trying. You're better with the voice.
the part where he like because Rocky Jr. was like kind of like talking down on his father, right?
Talking smack.
The line that just I felt completely took Rocky Balboa from here to here was when Rocky goes, you know, you used to fit in this hand right here.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Like, do you know, like, I understand you're an adult now, but you used to fit in this hand. You know what I mean? And that's one of the most
It
memorable.
was moving, man. It really was.
Yeah.
That to me, look, I'm a fan of all the Rocky movies, and I look, am I a fan of Sylvester Stallone? I think we're a fan of Rocky, right? Because it was part of our younger years. But that to me, that scene to me is Sylvester's biggest flex.
Mhm.
Like that scene right there was where I'm like, holy shit, I haven't seen him go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm reliving that scene right
Yeah.
now. And you know, fun fact too. So in the Creed movies, I know specifically in Creed 2, Stallone wrote all of his scenes. So the scenes that he was in, he didn't
No
write
kidding.
the whole movie, but the scenes that he was in, he wrote. And you know, with this, because I know he's not in the third one, but like,
Why? Do you know why?
so I think it has to do more with the producers. So um, Irwin Winkler, and then the other producer, Chardoff. I think he's the one that passed away, but Irwin Winkler. So like Stallone had mentioned that like he wanted like a little bit of I don't know if the right word is ownership, but just a little bit of the Rocky franchise.
Mm,
And
mm.
it's
Yeah.
Irwin Winkler is like 90 now, so it's his son. And I think he just wanted a little bit of piece of the pie that he can pass on because this is gonna Creed's gonna live on, right? Potentially
Right.
past Stallone, and just something that he can pass on to his kids
Right.
is what I read, right? And it got I don't know if you follow Stallone, but it got a little kind of bloody on like social media, but I think it's kind of settled down a little bit. I
Bloody,
just
like they got physical?
not physical, but like there was just bad posts and
Yeah.
bad mouthing off and stuff like that. And this is Michael B. Jordan's direct, you know, he's
Yeah.
directing Creed 3. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I want to see it, but I'm one of those guys that just this is Rocky, right? Rocky created this. How do you not? And maybe they will. Maybe they're going to surprise us and they'll have a cameo. But how do you not have the guy Rocky in this, right? It's like the only way that I see it working on the script is if they kill him. And I really hope they don't do that. But that's the only way that you can answer why he isn't. Why would he
Yeah.
not train him, right?
As I'm looking back there in the Rocky Balboa, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Um, look, I don't like it. I'm not gonna, if he's not in it, I'm not gonna support it. I'm not gonna watch it. No matter how successful, the spin-offs are, because technically we'll call it a spin-off. Respect the creator, respect the brand. And it is, I don't, look, it is a Rocky Balboa brand. It is. He created this universe. I need him in there. I would just been like, cut the check, make him cut the check, man.
Even Michael B. Jordan too, because you know, I mean, you're obviously in the business. It takes a lot of work and effort to make a movie, right? And if I'm taking on this project, like I know the movie will be a little bit better with Rocky in it. And again,
Oh yeah.
we don't know the conversations that go on, obviously behind closed doors. But another, I don't know if you paid attention to this because we were talking about Dolph, but I guess there's going to be a Drago spinoff movie
I heard.
that's
I
taken place.
heard.
Stallone got upset and said, like, you know, it's very sad that a character that I created is being like kind of used in the wrong way, and better to like I know who my true friends are, but Drago, I guess, communicated, or not Drago, Dolph communicated with Stallone and kind of cleared the air and said, hey, I thought maybe that you were a part of this, and this was just pre-production, it was just discussions, but I've heard
Yeah.
that it made up. But like it's gotten kind of to a point to where like I never thought it would get to this with the Rocky franchise.
Look, it's unfortunate, man, and um uh yeah, there's I'm gonna tell it to you like this. There's Earth, and then there's Hollywood. Like, it's no joke. I mean, seriously, there's stuff that I've been at this for a while now. I've been at this for a while, and there's stuff that I'm just like, what the, what is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, it's Hollywood. There's stuff that I still don't understand, and I'm like, just why you guys, can we just apply logic, you
Yeah.
know? And it's overinflated egos, and that have to be protected, dude. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot. It's a lot of that, that sometimes you just need to be like, can we just travel back to Earth, have this conversation, and then shoot? I know we got to get back to Hollywood mentality, but there really is like it's a whole different way of thinking. It's a
Yeah.
whole different way of thinking.
Yeah.
So
Like with
yeah.
Expendables, I think there was also some sort of kind of disagreement. But Expendables 4 is coming out now, but there was some kind of disagreement with it. But where Stallone said that he wasn't going to be in the film, and then Arnold right away was like, "I'm not going to be a part of it unless Sly's in it."
Yeah.
So I know now we're getting Expendables 4, and I think the Barney Ross character, which is Stallone's character, is going to be kind of, it's more of a Jason Statham
Yeah.
movie. Like I know, like with these type of things, like guys that you work with, like, hey, I'm just not going to be part of it, and like because you just know they need
Yeah.
the anchor in order for this to be successful.
Right. Right. I was a big fan of the Expendable. The first one to me
That's a franchise
was,
I'd like to see you in, and I think you'd be good in the Expendables.
dude, you're like the third person to tell me that. There's a couple that I get quite often, that Fast and Furious,
Mhm.
um, the Expendables, and what was the other one? But
Was it
those two.
Breaking Bad? I know you were in Better Call Saul, but was it Breaking Bad more? Or?
No, 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 because that's been over for a bit.
Yeah.
But the Fast and Furious I get all the time. Like, dude, you should be in it. You should be in it. You should hit him up. Um, and yeah, I would love to. I would love to do an Expendables. Let's see, we're putting it out in the universe right now.
Mhm.
You know, I would love to get into something where I throw down with Jason Statham. To me, um, Jason Statham is truly, he's an outstanding performer. I think, it's interesting because I think that after the Fast and Furious bump that he received, and you know, I think I would have liked to see more of some A1 kind of. Weren't you a little like surprised that didn't give him a bigger bump, sort of?
Jason Statham and
Yeah,
and Fast and Furious, or just
or just I don't see why he's not headlining any movies.
oh yeah. Well, he I mean early 2000s, mid
Hmm.
2000s, like the 2003 on, and like 2010 on. I mean, he was pretty, was headlining a lot of films.
Yeah, but
I
kind of
think,
he never broke.
yeah,
Just you know
like
what I'm saying?
the main guy consistently. Yeah,
Yeah, like because he's amazing. I
he's
think
he's an
he's
awesome fighter. He's an awesome fighter in his movie,
awesome fighter, but
actor.
he's an amazing action star.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He truly is.
Yeah.
Um, just look, again, it's Hollywood, but who knows what's happening behind the scenes. But I could totally see him. After, I remember thinking that after Hobbs and Shaw,
Yeah.
I was like, that this he's gonna kill it. He's
Yeah.
gonna kill it. And think about it. There hasn't been like a major development from from Jason Statham. Like, he should be that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see what Expendables 4 is gonna be.
Mm.
Still kind of hesitant because I want to see Sly as the main guy, and we'll see. I'm gonna watch it first before I may make any assumptions. Um, but
There's so many great things, dude. There's so many like great content nowadays. I'm not sure if you're keeping up. It's like I got like I got like stuff like lined up. Like, I could be watching movies for for years, and I still wouldn't be caught up. Like right now, I started back on Peaky Blinders. Have you heard of Peaky
oh
Blinders?
yeah, yeah. I'm fully caught up with the exception of the last 4 episodes. So I'm
Oh,
on
I'm
last season. Yeah,
we're in the same place. I just got caught. I'm on second episode of season 6.
me too. Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm gonna jump back in tonight. But that the character, the person that plays the character of Polly, she died in real life,
Yeah. On Polly. Yeah.
which which was disappointing. But such amazing content out there right now. Peaky Blinders, for example, to me is the cinematography. When you can take take on a show and watch it the way that you can watch like Peaky Blinders, or even Game of Thrones, or Better Call Saul. I mean, you're getting pulled away from reality, right? When you can do that, that's when you know you have greatness. That's when to me, like Peaky Blinders is like next level shit. I
Yeah.
mean, it truly, the acting in this damn show. Most people don't realize, dude. There's moments, if you watch Peaky Blinders, there's moments that they're right up in your grill with a
Mhm.
camera, like right here.
Yeah.
And these are moments, because right now I'm talking to you, I'm looking at your eyes. I know that if I look up here, I know that it looks now like I'm connecting with you, right?
Yeah.
But I can't, well, I can if I wanted to, but this doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's easier for us as human beings to me look at you right here,
Yeah.
because that's where your eyes are, right? So that's where we gravitate to. Dude, there's plenty of scenes, and lengthy ones at that, where they have to go deep. They're hitting some deep emotional stuff, and the camera's like right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people don't realize you can't have the actor right here. That's the actor's behind the cameraman. Okay, they're behind the cameraman, spitting out lines to help them out. But there's many cases where you have the camera right here and you can't make eye contact. There's nothing. There's no real human connection that's happening in those moments. So to dish out some of this amazing work that they're doing, killing, the main actor. It is very challenging.
Yeah.
Hats off to these guys. It's just amazing. It takes a great deal of going through trials and tribulation, and I always say, people ask me, what does it take to get into this business? I say, the prerequisite is 10% crazy. Just 10%. I'm somewhere between 40 and 50.
Quick question, not to go back, but was the third show that everyone says that you should be on, is it Mayan MC?
That's well, I was on that.
Yeah, I was
That's
gonna
that
say
one. They kept
you were on there, but I was gonna say maybe it was that show.
no, they that one still.
I wanted to see if I can get
Animal Kingdom.
Animal
Animal
Kingdom.
Kingdom.
That show just wrapped up last season, I think.
Oh, is it done?
I think this was the last season.
Oh,
The
damn.
mom isn't in it. Uh,
I never seen it, but people kept telling me Animal Kingdom.
and with Peaky Blinders, this is also the last season, but I think they're gonna do a movie.
Yeah,
Put up. I
I
think.
heard. I heard. So these are like stellar performances, man. Have you watched the boys?
No, but I've been hearing actually on an interview, I think a few days,
Dude,
it was recommended that we did. It said you got to watch The Boys, and I've been
dude,
hearing it also that it's an awesome show. I got to see it.
you gotta watch the boys. There's not a lot of stuff that I can line up against Peaky Blinders. There's
Mhm.
not. There's a lot of great shows, but the boys. is up there. It is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
You got to jump in. I would have thought that you've already seen, you're already fully caught up.
It's on there. It's on there. Yeah, I've been hearing about it a lot, and now I have to watch it because it's been now this is the second interview that was recommended, and I got to see it now.
I forget what his name is, but the lead in that is absolutely hats off. If I'm operating somewhere between 40 and 50% crazy, he's got to be at 60 to 80.
Sheesh.
So that means like there's very little sanity left.
I,
You know,
I gotta ask too, because I know we lightly touched on Better Call Saul, but I just want to hear, did you see the finale? And if you did, what was your
I
take?
didn't.
You haven't, okay.
I didn't. I keep dodging people because I got to get to
Okay.
it, and I'm like, don't, I haven't seen it. Man, that was that was another one of those experiences that it raised the bar on my on my resume. It's funny. I've had some very young people roll up on me and say that they saw me in Better Call Saul. I'm like, wait, like 18 and 19, 20-year olds. I'm like, wait, don't you they just look young. But
the brutal scene that you were in too.
yeah, I'm not sure if we touched on it, but that was pavement. That was concrete.
Yeah.
Did we talk about that? That was
there. We barely touched on it on the last.
Yeah, that was concrete. That was quite painful. I don't think I've said this on an interview, but I blacked out for one of those takes.
Oof.
Yeah. I mean, now I'll say it many years after, but you're supposed to say, when they come up to you, are you okay? Because you could see that people were like in awe, that because I'm hitting. I get shot in the I get shot at thinking right in the heart. I still got the bags of money, $7 million in my hands.
Yeah.
I come down to my knees. When I come down to my knees, I have to face plant. And that's a paved road.
Yeah.
So I had to do that like 8 times. So you should have seen me. I'm like, we're in the desert. So I'm like gathering sand from the desert sand and putting it like where I suspect that my head is gonna land. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if my my body's one thing, but if I rock my head against this pavement, it's lights out.
Yeah.
And then when we walked with the creator, he directed that episode.
Did Vince Gilligan or did Peter
Gould? Vince Gilligan was he was a director.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting walk because we do the walkthrough of what's going down, and then and I'm walking with the stunt coordinator, Al Godo, and I'm walking with Vince, and they're like, yeah, so G-Rod, what's gonna happen is you're gonna get popped from over there, Mike
Herman Trout.
Yeah, he's gonna snipe you. And I'm looking. He's like, no, you don't see him. You don't. He's like, don't look. You don't see him. You're getting popped from over there. I'll yell it out, and then I'm like, all right, cool. So and they're looking at me like I'm kind of like, all right, so yeah. So what I'll do is I'll do this. So what I did was I dropped the money. Then I get shot here. I get sniped, and I drop the cash bags, and I go like this because as a stunt guy, you want to protect the dome.
Yeah.
It's so I do this, which you can still sell it, right? You can still sell this as, he's like, so Vince, says to me, this is so vivid in my memory. Great guy, by the way. He's like, yeah, you really, really want that money. I was like, and and then he looks at now he's looking at the stunt coordinator. He looks like this. He really doesn't want to let go of that money. You don't want to let go of that money, I'm reading between the lines.
I see.
I know what they're asking. I know what he's asking. And the stunt coordinator's like, you know what he needs, right? I was like, yes, sir. And yeah. I knew exactly what the fuck he needed. And I was happy to deliver. That meant I'm I'm happy. I'm getting away with $7 million. When I get popped, there's no letting go of the money to the end, meaning
Yeah.
to my death.
Yeah.
So guess what? I have to line up my head at the right time so it doesn't look like it's orchestrated, right? It doesn't look like, oh my God, I just got popped. You know,
Yeah.
it's got to look like life has left your body, you know? So I got to do it smoothly, land on my knees, come down, and still keep my hands on my money, my bags, because Mike then comes around and he they wanted it to show where he removes my fingers and takes the bags, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
which I don't think that they ended up keeping it, but he's like, you really want that money? I was like, oh my God. And then I had to do it like 8 to 10 times.
Wow.
And guess what? Every single one, uh, every single one, I was like, Pam, great, great. I landed on my, my little mark, thinking I put the dirt. I'm like, this is where I want to. Come on, you got this. This is where I need to land my head. And guess what? One time I did it. Lights out.
Oof.
So then I hear, I'm not sure I mentioned this, but I'm definitely scared of my antivirus just popped up. I'm scared of spiders, and I am definitely scared of tarantulas.
Was this in Albuquerque?
Um,
Shot in Albuquerque?
Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Yeah, Albuquerque. So I I I wasn't moving. I wasn't moving for a couple of seconds because I was coming back. I was like, I couldn't see. I blacked out, man. I was so scary. And then I hear from Vince, I hear tarantula, tarantula. And I'm like, oh shit.
Oh my goodness.
So I found the strength in me to get up. They're like, and they all gathered around. They're like, are you okay? We just replayed that. You hit hard. You're so if you look at that, if you slow mo
The
it,
scene that they
if you
kept.
if you look at the one that they used, my head actually bounces off the pavement. It bounces. I totally missed my mark where I wanted to land.
Oh man.
So yeah, so there's actually there's a video on YouTube where Vince is going through the shots and he's talking about that. So yeah, man, it was amazing. Bob Odenkirk is, I was just talking to you about guys that celebrities that you want to work with that when you show up and is this guy going to be a douche or whatever. Bob is an unbelievable dude, man.
You know,
Unbelievable.
you know what's funny? Coincidentally, so that when I went to the Cobra Kai event for Paley Fest in Hollywood, the day after was the Better Call Saul one.
Oh, you're kidding.
And I booked tickets for both, and I went to the Cobra Kai one, and then I was on my way to the Better Call Saul because I mean I love the entire cast. I've actually met Juan Carlos Esposito.
Yeah, yeah.
Why am I blanking?
Incredible talented.
Gustavo.
Incredible.
Gustavo.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to see Jonathan Banks because I love him from the '80s, from Beverly Hills
Yeah.
Cop, Armed and Dangerous, right? He was also in the Flipper movie too in the '90s. So I really wanted to see him because this was the final season, and I was bummed I didn't get a chance to make it because yeah, I just
Dude,
love the show.
let me tell you, how old is he now? He's got to be.
He's in his mid 70s, mid to late 70s.
You sure?
Yeah. I don't think he's hit 80 yet.
Well, Bob was great. Everybody was great. I went to dinner. We went to dinner with Jonathan Banks.
Wow.
We ended up we had dinner with him. We went. Let me clarify. We went to dinner. He was there. He's like, oh man. He's like, and then can I join in? So he joined us for dinner.
Wow. He asked you guys if he could join in.
Yeah, like I'm like looking at him like, dude, of course. We get up. True story. We get up and then we're talking shit. Somehow we get into him capping me. He's like, and then I get into well, you had a you had to take me out from a distance, you know. And he's like, yeah, yeah. Well, that's it goes down. I mean, it would have been, I mean, you look tough and everything, but it would have been a little different, if we were face to face. But don't worry, you look tough. And then he punches me full blown in the chest right here. What are you trying to say?
Oh my goodness. That's a badge of honor right there. That's a badge of honor.
Dude, I was like, my buddy was like, I literally, no kidding, I took 2 steps back. He popped me right here, and I swear to God, I felt it the next morning. I was like, dude, what? He's,
Oh my
that's
goodness.
right, that's right. I don't look. He said something like, I'm not. I don't look, just look tough. I am tough. I was like, I remember we hugged it out, dude. He was incredible. I can't wait to remind him and work with him once again in the future. I know we're going to cross paths again.
Yeah.
What an incredible guy,
I
truly.
can't wait. I can't wait for you to finish and are you on the last season at least? Are you how far
Of
behind
what?
are you of Better
Uh,
Call Saul?
I got to start the last season. I got to start it.
Part B or part A? Because there's two
Part.
parts.
Oh no, I didn't know that. I haven't jumped in at
Okay.
all.
Yeah. So there's two parts.
Is it amazing?
I really loved it. I it's tough. I don't know. I'm not really good at talking between the lines without spoiling it, but I
Yeah.
I really really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It completed. It was complete for me. You know when you watch
Okay.
a show and you're like, oh man, like I need another episode and I need something else to
Yeah.
be in. It's complete without giving too much. Like you get what you wanted out of the show. And again, like I was one of the as soon as I heard this show was coming out, I was right on board. And it's a slow burn. They give you
Yeah.
everything that you want as a Breaking Bad fan. This show kind of holds its own. Breaking Bad, I mean, we're going to be honest, right? Breaking Bad is Breaking Bad. It's
Dude,
one of the best shows of all time. My
that
favorite show is Sopranos, and Breaking Bad is right there, right?
dude, Breaking Bad to me was just, when I first saw that, I was like, what? This is so amazing. I'm not sure if I told you, I was a big fan of Dean Norris in that show. I think his character was amazing.
Yeah.
Um, I got a chance to fight him, throw down with him, in the show called Claws.
Oh wow. Yeah,
Have
yeah.
you heard of it?
Uh-huh. Yep.
And then he bites my ear off and I'm bloody. Dude, this guy was he's such an amazing guy. Another one of those guys that you would think, not you would think, but you just don't know. It's Hollywood, right? There's Earth and there's Hollywood. Um, I was having dinner with a gal, and he and I were staying in the same hotel. And the next day we were gonna throw down and fight together. He came over and joined us, and sat down with me and had dinner with us. Well, we had dinner. He just was having a drink. Just a great guy all around. Just many laughs through that fight sequence on Claws. But I was a big fan of his character. I really liked in Breaking Bad.
You'll like
To
the last
me,
you'll like the last season. You'll like the last season then.
yeah. Okay. Okay. He to me stuck out. Obviously, look, obviously Walter, was, his character to me was amazing. I'll tell you, I think Breaking Bad was like groundbreaking. Would you agree with that? It was truly,
Yeah.
some of the shots, you know what I'm saying? I think it was groundbreaking stuff.
The show itself, in my opinion, didn't be it was very good the first two
Hmm.
seasons, but it became great. It was either the last episode of season two or the second to last episode, is when, in my opinion, it became great when Mike comes in and cleans up everything. When
Okay.
we first see Mike, and fun fact, the reason why the Mike character even exists. So Bob Odenkirk, Saul Good,
Hmm.
he was working on another show. So he came in towards the end of season two, episode Better Call Saul, and he couldn't work a full schedule. So they brought in the Mike, they created the Mike character to kind of fill in for Saul.
Okay.
and that's where, otherwise we would have probably never gotten Mike, or maybe Mike would have came later on.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
that's where the Mike character came in, and that's when the show becomes great, is in my opinion towards the end of, because the first season only had a handful of episodes. There was a writer's strike.
Right.
So like, and again, like you got this guy in his underwear, he's in the desert, you don't really know,
Yeah, yeah.
what's going on, but I was hooked. And we get
You're gonna make me want to jump right back into it, dude. I'm gonna jump back in.
I rewatch it, that and Sopranos. So whenever I'm not watching Sopranos, I'll rewatch Breaking Bad. I'm actually rewatching Better Call Saul again, because it's again like it's that slow burn.
Yeah.
It really, after the end of season 2, season 3 is when it becomes more like Breaking Bad, and you start seeing more of the cartel and stuff. So I will see. I want you to watch the last season, but
I'm gonna watch it.
there's
You know,
a
it's funny because Sopranos to me,
yeah.
Sopranos to me is like a master class. It really is. And through the years, I think I've watched it like 3 times, the whole thing over again. Because I come from the school of go small. When in doubt, go small. And Soprano has that ingredient in many of their characters. That's truly like one of the first shows that I was able to say, yeah, this is where I want to head in terms of my execution to my work. You know, this right here, this moment, there's not a lot going on. It's a restaurant. Everything's happening like right here. The intensity's all right here. And then suddenly you would fucking, then you have somebody grabbing like a bottle and just, but that's truly like Boiler Room is what really had me getting into the business. That was like my motivator. I was like, what? Boiler Room to me is a classic. And then Sopranos was the building blocks, because the simplest scenes, Sopranos, Casino, there's not a whole lot going on. We're having a conversation right now. It's like, you have more money? No, I didn't bring it. Okay. I told you to have it yesterday. Pop.
Yeah.
It's all happening so small in these little subtle nuances, So that now you're giving me homework, man. I gotta jump back into Sopranos.
You know who we interviewed from Casino? Remember the cowboy, the one that Joe Pesci hit? They took his head, he had his boots on the table, and they used his head to open the door. Remember the big cowboy?
Oh, I don't. Now I'm gonna have to watch that again.
Yeah, we just interviewed him. Craig Vincent, really nice guy. Just interviewed him. Actually, it was a few months ago now. But yeah, that was just fun.
I miss that De Niro, man. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not.
Did you watch The Irishman? Did you watch The Irishman?
I didn't. Should I jump in?
So I love The Irishman. I've been hearing some mixed feedback from folks. I watched it in theaters. I loved it. It's not
really
Casino, because Casino's between Goodfellas and Casino and The Irishman. I kind of rank those 3 movies together. Casino, I think, is more superior. I toggle between Goodfellas and The Irishman. I think this is Joe Pesci's. He's unbelievable.
I'm gonna watch it.
Movie Raging Bull, I think, is Joe Pesci's best performance.
Of course,
He's Bull, amazing in this. He steals the show. He steals the show in this movie. De Niro's in every scene. He's awesome too, but Joe Pesci, because he's different. It's not the typical Joe Pesci that you're used to seeing, but he's just as menacing with his eyes, without saying anything.
I haven't seen an actor that because he's not a big dude, that can be so menacing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he would probably, if I had to do a scene with him, which would be amazing. I mean, he would probably have me, his execution is just, it's truly. He's one of the greats to me. Him, Dustin Hoffman, the Pacino, the De Niro, Casino, Heat. The De Niro in Heat is a masterclass. Is a freaking masterclass.
I have the books. It's not. I just bought. Let's see where I put it. Sorry,
Holy crap! You lost your hand.
Oh, the Heat 2. Can you see it?
Yeah, well, I could for a second. What is that?
There it is. Heat 2.
Is that a follow up to it?
Yeah, so Heat 2 just came out. It's the book, so it's a prequel sequel.
Okay.
And I'm midway through. I haven't finished it yet, but it's a prequel sequel, and we'll see. They want to make Michael Mann wants to make an actual movie, turn into a movie. But yeah, if you haven't picked it up, you should definitely read it. It's a really, really good read so far. It's more on the Val Kilmer character.
Yeah.
What happens afterwards, and they're also
Okay.
going back in time with kind of like how the crew initially met. It's about 7-8 years before the events in the movie. I think you'll like it. I'm still midway through. I haven't finished it yet, but so far it's awesome.
When I saw that scene where they come in out of the bank, and shooting up the place, dude, I was in on the act. I'm like, I need to get it. Like, can I Google? Well, I don't know Google, but I'm like, how do I get in on this? Those were kind of like the early starts of curiosity of getting in the business. Very, very, very early on. I was like, this is amazing. It is, it's. He should have going back to De Niro. He should have just stayed on that highway, not turned off that off ramp. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
He would have been fine. He would have been fine, man.
There's a scene in The Irishman between Joe Pesci and Al Pacino. That it's not that scene is in Heat is untouchable. It's unbelievable because they're two different guys, but they're the same guy, right? In this scene in The Irishman between Joe Pesci and Al Pacino, first of all, it's the first time that we're seeing them together, but it's close. It's not the scene of Heat, but it's close. It's my favorite scene in the movie.
I'm gonna jump in.
Yeah, you should definitely see it. I've probably seen it, and it's long. It's 3.5 hours. I've probably seen it like 6-7 times.
I'm gonna jump in, dude. I'll circle back to you.
G-Rod, I want to be respectful of your time. I want to just talk movies.
No, I gotta jump in the shower. Look, I'm all greasy and sweaty. I came straight from the gym to jump on this. I was looking forward to it.
I want to be respectful of your time. I want to bring you back and do more.
Oh man.
Again, I don't want to wait another year next time. But
no, we shouldn't. I have we'll do it after. I got Renfield is a vampire movie starring Nicolas Cage, Ben Schwartz, and Nicholas Hoult. That's coming out in April next year. I'm excited about that.
Yep.
It's a significant role, so I'm very, very much looking forward to that. I guest starred in National Treasure that's coming out in November.
That's now, right? The show.
They're done. They're done. So I guest starred in 2 episodes.
Yep.
Very excited. I got to play one of the villains. My boss was Catherine Zeta-Jones. So that was
cool. More about that too.
Yeah. So that's coming out in October, November. As I told you, I just shot NCIS Hawaii, and that's coming out in October.
Project with Dolph Lundgren also.
Yeah. And then I just came back from Nevis, which is an island with Caribbeans, and I just got that finishing. I finished working on a Michael J. White film. And I had the pleasure of working with Jackson Rathbone. He was one of the vampires in Twilight.
Oh yeah. I'm forgetting the name of. So I was hoping to maybe potentially interviewing him one day, but yeah, he's awesome. He was great in Twilight too.
Yeah, great guy. Another one of those that we can add to the list of just amazing people to work with. If you look at his Instagram, there's a picture there, and I think you can dig a little deeper. That's all I know. But yeah, man, a lot of stuff lined up. Yeah, we definitely, let's make it a point to chat again, and we won't wait a year.
Definitely. No, we'll definitely take advantage of round 3.
Round 3.
You're up against Sean Kanan. He's got you at 3. So if we can get you to 4, maybe we can get you.
I need to beat him.
Yeah.
We need to beat him.
If not on the interviews, on the show, we'll get you back on the show and you guys can
Yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
show.
If he wants to, if Mike Barnes wants a piece of Juan, in a parking lot, you let me know.
Perfect. Perfect. That's a great way to end.
Of
G-Rod, thank you so much.
course, man.
Appreciate this was so much fun. We'll bring you back again for round 3 and can't wait to share your upcoming projects with the fans as well and continue watching you kill it on the screen. Thank you so
And
much.
I'll continue following the movie junk. I love it. Love watching your clips, brother.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for
much.
having me.
Thank you. Talk soon.